Okay, so real life messy house. I am exhausted, but I have coffee and I'm gonna try to get this room done. So this stuff that's kind of here, it's hard to like video when you're trying to figure it out. This stuff was the little girl stuff that was under their bunk beds. So they were sorting through that. And then we're going to be putting some of that up into the attic, and then some of it they're choosing to keep down here. It depends if they want to use it now or if it's something they just want to save as a treasure. So they're making those decisions there. Behind, wrong way. That's clean laundry that I need to put away, and that's the chair. So what I do normally to sort things is I just start like chucking things into like piles and such. And then the bed. So this box right here, all my daughter's diabetes stuff goes under the bed, but as you can see, the box ripped on the side and I have more stuff. So I'm going to put her stuff into this box here. I gotta cut the edges off so it can just slide in and out. I gotta make sure the size of it, so I can put her diabetes stuff in there. And then I'm just gonna start maneuvering things all around, and then hopefully we'll have a clean, organized room by the time we're done with this. So let's do it. Yeah, it seems like it needs to slam down more. Yeah, that looks good.
This side snapped in there.
Okay, so here's the chewy box. Cut the top off. Look at my straight line. All right, I'm gonna stuck this into here. We're gonna try this chair out while I have spotters. I said I'm gonna try this chair out when I have spotters. I literally have somebody behind me. Oh, yes. See, your feet can go on the floor. Let me rock into my daughter. And you can rock. I'm so glad that your feet can go on the floor. All right, so let's see. Get the feet up. Yeah, obviously we have not done the whole room. Feet up. Nice. Now if I have Azariah, let's see. Oh, nice. Okay, so now I need to plan the rest of my room around this chair. This is in like the nook of our windows. This is a couch. We just laid it down. We're gonna actually put a sheet and blanket on here because most likely my 3 and possibly my 5-year-old will sleep in here, even though they have other places to sleep in the house. We're just trying to like work on what works with them. Hey guys, I'm actually really excited. This is probably the first time since we've been in this house that I felt like a space was even mine. I think it's hard when you've lived in a house for a lot of your years of your marriage or whatever for a long time, right? And you make everything into your personal space. Like, oh, all these things are here because I put them here, and it just kind of feels right. Like, anyway, I am so out of breath. Yes, I am really struggling with this cold, and part of that is like I'm getting out of breath, like doing simple tasks like this. Anyhow, I'm going to share with you the room. I actually feel really good about this room, which is such a blessing. Yeah, and I'll explain it just a little bit. I'm getting tired. I'm more than tired, and people are going to need me downstairs, so it's not going to be like a whole like super full in-depth tour, but just a basis. So anyone else have a husband who is like an alligator that like spins themselves up in the blanket, like they're like trying to get away from, like, you ever see them on like Swamp People or whatever, and they just spin and spin and spin? I feel like that's my husband. He just spins and spins in the blanket. So let him have his own blanket to spin and cocoon himself in, and I'll get my own. Or I'll share with Azariah. Okay, so I actually bought this bedspread. You've probably saw it on the queen bed. I bought this. I always buy a little bit bigger anyway, even if I'm doing for a queen. So I bought this in a king size for the queen bed. And I don't know, I just think it's beautiful. To me, it's kind of like old country cottage. Like, I just like that type of stuff. I actually really like over here on the chair too. I really like this. My aunt Judy gave this to me, and it has some rips in it here, which I need to repair. She gave it to me because she didn't know how to repair it. It's kind of a pain to repair a blanket, but I honestly will just use it like this for this moment, and then if it gets bad enough, I'll probably try to repair it or figure something out. I just love it. It's just kind of, it reminds me of my Aunt Judy and my grandmother, just the colors. Like my grandmother loved like those blue colors, and so it's just really special to me, and it just reminds me of the three sisters story. So my aunts, three of them, my great aunts. So my grandmother and her sister, and then her other sister. They were like all best friends, and they would all do these things together. So they came up with this name. This is just totally my grandmother. They came up with this name. Now my grandmother had a boyfriend until she went into the retirement community for people with dementia. She's always had a boyfriend. She was married 25 years, at least 25 years, because she had to be married 25 years in order to get a specific pension because her husband was in the Korean War. Anyhow, married a long time, and she then ended up getting divorced. There was some mixes of what was going on before that. And so anyway, I think that in a way she just felt really sad over that. So she felt like she always needed to find her comfort in men, which was really sad. So anyway, they came up with this club, and they called it the Doll Club, the DOLL Club, and it was Dirty Old Little Ladies Club. It's not like they were really doing anything. They just thought it was hilarious. They're a part of like the Red Hat Society, and then they had like their own division of like the Doll Club, which was like dirty old little ladies. Anyway, I thought you'd like that one. So this chair is lovely. I have this chair here, and then this space over here next to me, so that Azariah's pole can go all the way up here. So Azariah's pole will go back and forth. I think before I felt like I had to accommodate like a bed up here for him when he doesn't really sleep in a bed if he's up here. But I'm really excited for this chair because I'll be able to rock him and then lay him down, and or rock him if he's having a hard night, and just kind of lean back and just pet him on his back and just give him comfort while still being in the room. One thing that's really challenging is if I, for instance, am downstairs, somebody else really has to be downstairs at the same time, because like if I need suction or something like that, if he's sick, then it's difficult because I'm trying to like help him and I need somebody else. So it's difficult trying to divide people, especially when we have another daughter who needs somebody by their side pretty much at nighttime, so that in case she beeps off because her numbers are so high. So that monitor right here is called a Sugar Pixel, and the Sugar Pixel, I'll show it to you. So right now her number is 126, and she is going down by 3. So she's heading down, not up. So if that goes beyond her numbers, then that's horrible noise, and let us know that she needs attention immediately. So if it goes too high or too low, then it's just gonna blare off. Yeah, so there's my chair. You can see there's actually quite a bit of space here, like probably like a human being's width here, that his pole can go here, so he'll have space. I actually like too that my husband is able to, the way the bed was set up before, my husband kind of needed to like hop off the end of the bed in order to help people in the middle of the night, and that's really hard. My husband's really stiff, so it was getting hard for him to like make that maneuver. He's always been it's never been looked into, but I noticed I have another child that's like that. Like they couldn't like bend over and touch their toes. Like just they're really like their joints and stuff are really stiff. Anyhow, so that's my husband, and he works a very physical job. So, you know, if he doesn't need to crawl off the end of the bed because he's been, you know, climbing ladders to, you know, wherever that day, you know, he doesn't need to do that. if I can bless them that way. I'm thankful for that. So over here, I have this little corner. I actually measured these couches when we were moving here. I measured these couches specifically to fit in these cubbies. They're not the most comfortable couch. They're not like cushy. They're more like hard. Let me get that sun out of your face. They're more hard if we need to and it becomes an issue. I do have an egg crate, like a foam mat that I could cut to this size if they complain. But they have beds in the other room as well. But my 3 and my 5-year-old were currently sleeping on the bunk beds in the room. So if they want, they can share this bed. They also, one of them has a bunk in the other room. And then the 3-year-old, if she wants, she can have a pull-out bed. Now, if she wants, if and when they decide that that's her favorite place to be, then we will look at getting and we're still in this house, then we'll probably look into getting another triple bunk. But at this point, we're not there. But I also want to give her the space where she needs to grow and develop. I think a lot of times we try to force our children away from us really early. And traditionally, that's not how things were. Traditionally, families would have young ones in their bedroom for a really long time. And I'm okay for that. Like when they are emotionally ready to detach themselves, then they can go and do that. And that usually happens. Sweet Pea was really getting, if she didn't have diabetes, she would have been out a little bit sooner. She actually was out of our room. And then when she got diabetes, she was 5 and she was out of our room and she had gotten diabetes. She had been out of our room for maybe like 6 months and got diabetes. And then we had to bring her back in our room because we didn't know what we were doing. Really like the sugar pixel. That's really been a blessing to our family. Just got that, what, a month ago? Yeah, I just got that like a month ago. Okay, so this is the room. This is the room tour. So excited. I actually just feel like, I just ordered a desk to go over here. So this right here used to be next to all the stuff on top needs to go downstairs. That's the pile that's going downstairs. So you will see that later in another space, but it's coming out of this room. And then over here is my husband's stuff. I'm going to put a desk here. So there's a desk that I saw that is that I have ordered in, that's a bookshelf that goes up and then the desk can like fold in or fold out. And I think that will be perfect for our household because I can just come up and if I want to do like talking videos with you guys, I can do that. And this room is kind of like a little set further off from like the main living area, so it's a little bit quieter. So I could do that here and also I just got a new laptop, so I'll be editing some on my laptop, and that could be a space that I could edit on my laptop. It's also a space that potentially if somebody just needed like quiet, some of my kids might need like quiet to do something quietly. As far as schoolwork goes, then they'd be able to come up and use that as well. So an organization, this is the yes, this is the stuff. So this is all dress up clothes here in this one, and then I'm gonna have somebody else come in. The baby dolls are in this thing, and they're gonna throw all the baby doll stuff in another tote like this, and then those will go up in the attic. So now I am going to work on this room here, which currently has a bunch of stuff. I don't know exactly what this room is going to be. I just have small ideas. So this bed right here, currently we have sick people, so a couple people have been divided in here. So those people will probably still be here tonight. I'm only going to focus on this area right here for the moment, and then I'll do the other room after. Well, I'll do this area as well as in the closet. I'm going to talk about the closet here for a minute. These are going to go up here. Okay, so here we have all of our matching clothes. This right here is stuff that I just bought. If you haven't seen that video, I bought this at Walmart. These ones here, from the pink to here, this section is going to be when we're going away, and those pants are going to go with that. And then over here, let's see, I'm going to take some of these out because these are Christmas crew. I'm going to take these out and put them probably in a bin for winter. And then I'll keep these. These are also matching shirts for when we go out someplace. I don't know why this is in the middle. I think these skirts usually go with these shirts, but I'm just gonna have the shirts separately and then see what else we have. So gonna go through that stuff, and then I have one tote here. Like this space right here. Gonna take this table out, and then I want to put the white, see if the white table will fit in there, and then the white table could go here, and that would be for sewing. So if I can, I would put that there for sewing, and then maybe take this here and stack it on top of that one to allow for some sewing supplies in there. Okay, I have been doing so much stuff in different areas, so I'm just gonna share this with you here. So I created like this part of the hallway, or I'm working on creating this part of the hallway. I'm gonna have some people pick some things up. So these right here are all of our bins that have things like colored pencils and crayons, protractor and ruler, paintbrushes, staples, hole punch, glue. So each one of these has some smaller things: markers, scissors, office supplies, tape, pipe cleaners, and I don't know what that is and why that's there. Up here, people just shove stuff here, so somebody needs to clean this up. Up here we put our cameras and binoculars. Whenever there is a surface, guys, anyone else feel me? Whenever there is a surface, this is what it looks like. I feel like I turned my back for 5 minutes and there's stuff on top of it. So these are all different crafty things that people are working on, and or go to something else. So like this is watering color stuff. Let's see. So this has screen printing. I want to do that with the kids. And then somebody has special colored pencils there that they're working on. In this one, it's more like wood stuff. So we have 2 wood carving kits. We have some wooden spoons and wood burning in here. In here is kind of just a mix. So we have calligraphy, we have some embroidery floss, a bunch of cross stitch and embroidery in here. Then in here we have weaving, little people, which I'm going to work on with some of the younger kids, and various knitting needles and such here. In here, that's paint. Painting gets used a lot. This is paint. This is just various coloring type things. And these are oil pastels. More scrap paper and coloring in the bottom. And then this is all of Azariah's things. So we have all his G-tube stuff, all his neb and anything doing oxygen stuff. This is his bags and ferrule bags for G-tube supplies. And this is a gravity fed bag in case we lost electricity. We have an extra balloon, which is like the thing that goes in his stomach. So if I need to replace his G-tube, it's a whole kit. This is, let's see. Can you see? Can you see? So this is what goes inside his stomach, and then the rest of the whole kit. So it's like it comes in a kit like this, so I can replace it. Other things in here are just random. So we have his braces in here, hair combing, extra things to open oxygen. This is kind of like Azariah's junk drawer. We have face cloths in here because our face cloths tend to get dirty really fast. And so if they're all dirty, we will use this for him because there's a difference between clean and not clean face cloths. Eye drops. This is to measure his head circumference. This is his, if he had an emergency seizure that he couldn't come out of, that would be for him. We have those like various places throughout the house so that we know where they are. This is cloth diaper and wipes. And then extra blankets in here. So that is that for him. This is my desk. Usually people are just plopping things on top of it. So in the top of my desk, we have, these are, everyone uses these. So dry erase markers, permanent markers, pens, and then pencils. This is my business type stuff that I am constantly going through. This is writing letters and filing stuff, which everyone uses. This is like nice paper for, yes, nice paper for like handwriting letters. And then this is more junky stuff, random things for myself and others. We collected these for like a year, but we have not made just pins from places that we went. This here needs to go somewhere. I think it might actually go in the trash. And then these are for our upcoming trip, and our vaporizer that I had in our room decided that it was going to pretty much like explode all over the place. So that needs to go in the trash. And these need to find a home for our trip. I'll probably put those honestly like up here so nobody touches them. I'll do that after I talk. Okay guys, so I have had this half a video of me organizing the upstairs room sitting around for about a month now. And I've been trying to do an organizational video as far as my house and what's going on and how I've changed things. And as soon as I do that, then there's usually something that goes on in the house, and people and things are everywhere. So I'm going to show you how it is right now and what's working and what's not working. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so this is real life, guys. Totally real life, because I have stuff all over the place. We ended up putting the bed over here. It's actually a futon, but the futon lays really far back. So it actually makes more sense to have it as a bed. And what we do, like during nap time, the kids can lay on here, and then we turn the TV this way. So if some people are doing school or whatever in the other room, listening to an audiobook or whatever during quiet time, then they're able to do that. And then the younger kids can sit here. And usually I put on a quiet movie during that time. So this is one of the blankets they probably used, needs to get rolled up and put underneath there. The bench here actually has a lot of Azariah's supplies in here when they're not being used. So that's all Azariah's stuff in there that's extra for downstairs. I ended up moving. I put this upstairs originally. I need to clean this off, obviously. I've been doing taxes all morning, guys, so none of this house stuff was getting done. Oh, bet you guys knew how I feel about doing taxes. Anyway, it's done. Yay. Praise the Lord. It's done. I'm done. I'm moving on with my life. I'm also working on a video that is for somebody else. So I'm trying to get that one situated. That has a lot of editing in it. So, but nobody currently is really here. A couple people. I decided that I wanted a space that if the kids wanted, they could like sit here and do some schoolwork. I could also sit here and do some work here upstairs. It just is not practical. I do not end up actually going. In an ideal world, I probably would go upstairs and do like a lot of my work upstairs, but I'm still a mom. So kids just come upstairs into my room. So I may as well be right in the middle of the action. And everyone's coming in now. May as well be in the middle of the action and do what I can while I'm down here. And then the kids can also use this desk. We have not organized anything in this desk as of yet, but we will be working on that. I feel like I need to like kind of share with you my video. Okay, so goals are, I'll have a little bit of things there for people. The books that they're reading, they could stack up in there. The weird thing is I got this through Amazon. I think that it's cute in the fact that it has this little pull-out thing. This can actually fold up and become flat, just like a dresser. So I think it's cute in that, and it doesn't take up too much space. But I was a little disappointed because I feel like, see, this is a regular sheet of paper and it's not even as wide. It's not even 11 inches wide. So it just seems like I can't really put like books on here. It's not really a bookshelf because it doesn't hold books. So that's a little frustrating. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. We keep our extra paper in this here and then scrap paper on top here. And then our internet stuff and our printer there. So I wanted a space too to be able to, I only have, right now, I haven't figured out my other new laptop, but our printer has the cord here. And so I'd put my laptop here. So kind of just keep it all in this little area. We have this spinny thing that we just got. We do therapies with some of the kids with the spinny thing, and the kids just love using it. I ended up putting just this small couch here. Now, if I get another larger couch, I can fit this small couch over here, and then put a larger couch here. My boards, I ended up getting these. The kids can, these are the 4 youngest kids, and they draw pictures and can put their pictures in here. And that just keeps them semi-organized in here. You can fit 150 sheets of paper in those things right there. I will try to remember to link those down in the description box below, because that's really cool. You can fit 150, and then they can choose what's their favorite and what they want to keep in there, and their favorite can just go on the front. So over here, the kids actually were trying to look at the states that we were going to be traveling more. So they actually really enjoy looking at the map this close. Just bought myself a hat, so I'm seeing if it would fit. So that is there. And then this needs to get returned to Amazon. Other than that, we have a bin full of magnetics tiles. The kids love the magnetic tiles. I don't know if your kids do or if you've ever seen them before, but those, they can go for hours with those. Let's go into the other room. Again, this room is kind of messy, but I'll just share like what's working. So that room that we just went in adjoins to this room here. And this has actually been working well in the situation that it's at. So we have Azariah here, in here. Normally this would go in there, and then his, what is that? His nebulizer would go in there. We try to keep these things out, but we actually were needing to suction him. I was going through some paperwork and stuff, so that's all there. Like I said, I was doing taxes. And then over here, we've brought some things down for handicrafts. We have some yarn here, and then we have, we're working on some, what is this called? Wet felting and needle felting. So that's there. And then the kids have some drop spindles as well. So that's kind of what they've been working on. So that's kind of just hanging out there. Here, I changed it a little bit. I kept 6 totes of toys, and then I put some puzzles and then some books there. So the toys include, this is animals. I don't know why they put, I don't know where those came from. Anyway, Legos. We have 2 Legos, and then we have 2 that are for this set, the Lincoln Log set. And then we have a thing of animals. And then we have the laptops, not laptops. What are they called? What are these called? Tablets. We have the tablets, and then they charge here. Obviously, people are working on, they're making birds and wet felting eggs. So basically it is, I don't know if their birds are right here. Anyway, this is an egg that they wet felted, and then their bird would go inside of here, and that would be needle felted. Let's see. So like this, and then they wet felted the bird, and then it would go in here like this. So that's what they've been working on there. They've been reading this book here, Almost Home. We have tray tables. That really helps if we can make any space really into a desk. So wherever it's quiet, if people need quiet, then they can do that. My daughter just brought Azariah outside for a minute, and this was the hat and mittens that I was trying on. So we just have Azariah's stuff. We'll put that stuff away. This is a nice rocky chair for him. This is Azariah's toys here, and then his bar that kind of goes over his head. And then we have other like pillows and cushions like behind this chair, because he uses like a wedge and just different stuff like that behind the chair. So we just shove it back there. So those are things. I kind of really like the living room, the way that it's set up right now. It feels like there's kind of some open space here, and I like the bed that's laid down there. It actually works out really well, but it doesn't feel like it's like right in the middle of the living room. In here, in this room here, we still have the bed in here. It's used for, it's used if I need to come downstairs with Azariah, or if somebody sick needs to come downstairs, then this is what is used. This is the room that we have the bathroom in as well. So it's also if somebody is coming down and they need someplace to stay, like my son or whatever, like if he came down, he could stay here. And then in front of me, this here is going to be our sewing area. So we need to put sewing supplies in this here. And then Azariah just had a bath, so his tub's right here drying out. His tub usually goes on top here. So these are the extra kids' clothes in the closet. This is the sewing machine that will be going over on the table as needed. The kids' pool stuff is here. And then this is medical supplies in this. And then this is like hair supplies in there. So there's drawers of supplies there. And then the younger kids' clothes for going out are here. I need to hang these up on hangers as well. I should just watch this video and give myself a to-do list. But I actually have like 5 other things ahead of that. And I would like a shower today. Yes, I would. And then the kids' dirty clothes are still there, because usually the younger kids get dressed in this bathroom down here. So if we need to help them, then we can. So their dirty clothes being right here, they just throw their dirty clothes in there. And then I assign days of the week. Usually I do everyone there. Thursday, Friday are kind of like my days to take over the laundry. So it's usually Thursday, Friday. I'll do all their stuff there. So that is how I got organized. I did organize some other things. Let me go back here. I will share this. I shared this in another video. I'll probably share it again on the end of this video as well, just so you can see the organization. Okay guys, I hope that I'm able to do this where you would be able to see it. So this is just the overview picture of this. This was my idea that I wanted to do. Obviously I still have some open space here to work with, so that's pretty exciting for me. I think that I might end up putting like a menu on here, but I'm not sure. I do have another smaller board. I think that I might try to keep food stuff on the other board, where this is just schedule type things. So let's chat. Let's go overall with, this is like a daily thing. So I'm going to zoom in. So first of all, the colors, a lot of the kids' colors, are here. Like this one right here, their color is yellow, but yellow is really hard to see on a board like this. So anyhow, the top row section here is all daily chores. Then there are weekly chores in this middle section. And then if we're going out, each person has a job that they need to do in this section here. These are younger kids down here. So let's see, it's pretty much age, according to age here. So except these two should be flipped, but I just kind of started doing colors that way. And it actually helps me sometimes to have the boys are together here, but this one would be here if it was age wise. So ages would be 18, 15, 16, 17. Sorry, she just had a birthday. And then I was like, wait a minute, she just turned 17. 14, 11, 9, 8, 5, 3. This is my husband. This is one of my grown daughters. She's 22. So this person, these people work outside of the home, so their chores are like for that, where these people here, this is me, and then these are the people that work within the home. So we kind of switch off stuff that's happening in the house versus like who needs to do business or whatever like that day, just trying to switch and make time for like each thing. So I actually have not finished those 2 categories yet, because I think it's important that the 3 of us kind of chat it out so that we can finish doing that section together. I'm just kind of doing a main overview for you guys, and then we'll probably chat it out together after it's a little quieter in the house and such. So this is very generalized, because a lot of times our main week goes over what we have for appointments. So if we had no appointments outside of the house in a week, this is what our week would look like. But we always have appointments outside of the house. So I was struggling trying to come up with things at a regular, consistent basis that I would be able to do outside of the house. And yeah, it's really tricky when you have so many appointments, but I figured I would write a schedule like this for if nothing was happening, and then we can just take out whatever happens on those days. So Sunday is going to be church. Most of the time after church, we like to pack a picnic and then go to like a playground or something after church. Just helps run some of those things out that we have. Monday, we're trying to get the kids, because they have swim lessons, trying to get them in the pool more often to work on the swimming skills that they need to do. So Monday we could go to open swim, but that's also a day that my husband, it really depends because he's picking up different hours, but very often he might have a Monday off. So we might plan something else with him on that day as well. Tuesday, I usually have early intervention that comes out. So Azariah will have either PT or OT, and then he'll also have a social worker that does like all the behind the scenes type things for me. She helps check into equipment that's ordered, like those types of things. So I usually have the social worker with a therapist out, and that's usually on like every Tuesday somebody comes. They were all 3 of them coming together, but we're working it now like every other. So like should be PT one week, OT the next week, like that. And so we'll figure out if they are coming either in the morning or the afternoon, and then we would either do skating or sledding in either the morning or the afternoon, dependent. Now, if it was really yucky weather, way too cold, rainy, just really nasty out, like wet nasty out, then this right here would probably be switched into going to a museum, because we have a children's museum membership that we could very easily just go over there in the morning time then, if the weather doesn't look good. So Wednesday is going to be bread day and snack day. So people who make bread and snack, they will be doing bread and snack on those days. And I'll try to stay out of the kitchen. I'll try to have meals that's easy or that would go around that. So bread for the week and snack for the week would be made during that day. And then things will be frozen or whatever needs to happen in the fridge, whatever's going to happen. Thursday is there. Oh, I didn't even write it. Hold on. I need my marker. Tuesday's choir. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. So Tuesday is also choir. So this is a very dependent week. So if they had choir in the morning, then early intervention in the afternoon. Usually it's early afternoon that we end up doing that. So it'd be like choir in the morning, early intervention in the afternoon. Maybe we could go skating in the afternoon after that. Maybe not. It might be something like we do one of these in the morning and then early intervention, because choir is every other week. So that's that. So bread, baking day, snack day. Then we have swimming on Thursdays. If I need to go shopping, that will be on Thursday as well, which is perfect because I will be doing a meal prep day on Fridays. So on Fridays, he also gets in-home therapy from OT, from a different agency, she's awesome. She's so good with him. Anyway, and she helps me figure out what we should be doing in like different areas. She's just really great. And then meal prep day there. So I need to make sure that I have a list of everything that needs to get done for this meal prep day before that day. So I'm making myself do that. And then in the afternoon, if we get the meal prep stuff done, then in the afternoon, they do have a Lego club at the library. I think it's at 2 or I don't know. I think they have a Lego club at the library. I don't know. We'll see when that is, and then hopefully the kids could go with the other kids and go to the library, the Lego club there. And then Saturday is open swim from 10 to 3:45. I don't know if and when, just like, you know, 1 week we might go on Monday, 1 week we might go Saturday. I'm trying to get one other day throughout the week to be going to open swim so that the kids can practice what they're learning in their classes. And then weekly cleaning. So we'll do our weekly cleaning, which is up here on Saturday there. So let's just look up here for a minute. So I'm just showing you a portion. So again, 18, 15, 17, 14. So they would be doing their laundry. This is, see, it says laundry and then M. So their laundry is on Monday. Their laundry is on Wednesday. As you can see, Thursday. Friday, I have a lot because I do all the younger kids on Friday as well. So I do myself and all the younger kids on Friday. I do Azariah's as well. It's just not on here. And then, so those are daily chores or daily things that they tend to get done. I'm just writing them down so they can remind themselves like, okay, did I do this yet? And then here is weekly. Here, and then if we're going out, these are things that people do as we're going out. So one person, he can take the seats out of the van if we need to take the seats out or rearrange seats. He's in charge of putting the stroller into the vehicle. We make a pile. I have like a list of supplies that need to come with us. That's as far as like, okay, we need a certain amount of oxygen tanks. We need his suction machine. We need his monitor. So we have a list of those things, and those things would be this person's responsibility, who is 17. This right here is my 14-year-old. She would make, if we're having a lunch, then she would make lunch and have a lunch bag. This person who is 11 is in charge of filling everyone's water bottles. This person is in charge of filling a 1-gallon jug of water for backup. This person, Sweet Pea, has diabetes, and so she's in charge of getting her diabetes supplies. So everyone else is in charge of just getting their hat and mittens and all the fun things there. And then this person here is in charge of making the bag for the to-go snacks, and if she's not here, she has to prep this for the week, and so we would just grab that bag. So one of us down here, if she was not going, would grab that bag. Okay, so dishes for the kitchen. My husband has never done dishes, so these are people that are doing dishes and doing the kitchen on those days. These two I have not done yet. I started to make my list of stuff that I'm in charge of working on, and then these are just other kids. Like you can see the younger kids here. Let's see, so she's 5, so she has laundry, living room. Mom's gonna read to her. Like this one right here is, she's going to read to mom, and yeah, so read aloud. You're going to be part of the read aloud, and then I'll have like a packet of like fun stuff. If they want to do it, then they can take that out and do it. But on theirs here, I also just included things like brushing your hair and brushing your teeth and getting dressed, so that they know that that's part of what they need to do in the day, and it's written out. So yeah, yours says get dressed too. Did you know that? So those are the things that seem to be working right now. That extra bedroom, I actually really like as an extra bedroom. I really actually like this. I don't really care what it looks like. I did at first. I was like, you know, there's people coming in our house and we have this, whatever. I'm like, whatever, that's what works. It's great because if the floor is dirty or whatever, I can put Azariah up there and he can be away from everyone, but still able to move around. Also, my toddlers who are taking a nap, they can lay down there if they're tired. So for now, I'm like all for it. And it's really kind of cool to like lay back in that corner and just kind of look out the window. Sometimes the kids will do that too. So yeah, and I like having the bench with this stuff in it. There's so much stuff when you have a disabled child. It's just like stuff everywhere. It's like equipment, and you may need this or you may need that. So it feels like a lot. Like we keep a lot of tanks in the house. We keep enough tanks to get us through a week. We keep, you know, so there's a lot of things, a lot of stuff that are just stuff. And then you're talking about having 15 people in a house just create stuff, and we like doing things hands-on, so that creates stuff like creative projects and all those things. So like we have a dining room table with like Egyptian pyramids, and I want to work on pottery sometime this week, like all those things. It's all stuff. So to try to balance stuff with cleanliness or things that kind of like mentally I feel like I need it to be like somewhat put together. I feel like these three rooms right here and my bedroom are attainable to be clean within about half an hour. So if everyone we're just like, okay, everyone just kind of clean up real quick. I feel like because they have a space now, so everything like in these rooms kind of has a space, and that feels good. So that's where we're at for right now. I know I've rearranged a ton of times, and I'll probably rearrange a ton more because it's not the ideal situation. Nothing is really ideal. It's challenging, but that's what's working for now. So I actually feel kind of like, okay, we can deal with this for a little while. Anyway, hope you have a blessed and wonderful day.